Hi guys, Martin from Belief. It's the 1st of May 2026, about 4:40 in the afternoon. I've got 20 minutes or so ahead of me whilst I am driving back to the office after a full day with brokers, a tremendous day with brokers actually, from about 12:30 today, I guess. So it's only been 4 hours or so, but in that 4 hours I've spent an hour and a half with a broker that wanted to record some video, and he recorded 6 videos in that hour and a half, which is quite good really, and met up with another broker that has tripled in the last 3 months. He's tripled the volume he saw in the previous 12 months. So that's obviously one of those things that is encouraging. It makes it easy to sort of get through all the nonsense that we're exposed to on a daily basis. So what I want to talk about this video is an email I sent to clients earlier on today that details the requirements for our upcoming webinar or broker growth webinar series, our workshop. Now this is a rebuild of our own webinar series, our old webinar series, sorry. So if I get a little bit distracted here, it's because there's an enormous amount of work going on and there's a helicopter in the middle of the road. Out in the western suburbs of Sydney, I'm blown away by the number of people that have helicopters, and this is a private helicopter, literally in the middle of the road. So I'll just quickly, so I know what's happening.
Maybe about like 2-3 minute wait, if that's alright.
That's fine. So 2 or 3 minute wait while I wait for them to cart this thing away. Okay, so yeah, the old broker growth workshop we started, I guess, in 2015, and most of our early efforts, or most of our early time that we spent with brokers was one-on-one right from the very beginning. Now, that's highly inefficient from our perspective, but it's also unproductive in terms of the value that brokers can get from being exposed to the success and or failure of other brokers. And that's where this workshop really plays a big part, because you will be dealing with these people in a closed environment, whether that be discussion groups or webinars and so on. We'll be getting the feedback from everybody and measuring our results against others and seeing what they're doing. So we'll work as a community to ensure that we get better results. Now, first and foremost is everybody that does this workshop will multiply their results by at least 5 or 600% when measured against those people that purport to be professionals in the industry. That's the important thing. Is something's happening here? So all good? Couple of minutes. That's all right. So bunch of work people removing all the witches hats on the road so this thing can move. You'll probably hear it take off in a second. So you will exceed those results that are provided by people, again, that purport to be professionals. I know that they're not. Objectively, they return poor results, and they're just delivering a copycat system that's copied from one website to the next. Probably takes them about 30 seconds to install, because it is identical from one site to the next. And advertising has to be unique, has to be positioned, it has to be creative and compelling, engaging, it has to reflect your culture and brand identity, and has to come alive. It has to be a story, and that storytelling aspect of advertising is completely and utterly lost on the current market. Everybody says the same dumb things. They use finance vernacular that is lost on your audience, and everybody fails and skips to provide a promise. So you'll come out the other end of this and you'll have, one, this is going to sound silly to say after what I've just said, a kind of generic framework, but B, you're going to have compelling and amazing ad experiences. Why? Because we're going to work with you to ensure that you do. 3 people in particular, that's or 4 people now in particular: Damon, Kelvin, Jonathan, and Ricky Bobby down in Melbourne. So those guys are going to go first. I'm going to spend a little bit more time with them because they're going to be a template, sort of a standard that everybody else will be measured against, which is a little bit unfair because I think their standards are going to be quite high. So everybody else will do this webinar. If you have purchased the website Office, then the webinar is, obviously included. That one-on-one time afterwards is included. Anybody that buys the last 2 websites Office, so we've still got 2, which I cannot believe. given the impact that potentially has on your operation, you promote this website, and it's intrinsically connected to the funnel experience. Funnel experience is what I was about to talk about. So certainly if anybody buys one of those last two websites, they'll also get the workshop. So the website is essentially for free. It's crazy. So what was I saying? Yeah, okay, the funnel. The funnel is a concept that is lost on all those people that claim to introduce one to your operation, and that'll be a big focus of the first 20 minutes or so of the first webinar. I need to declutter your brain, re-educate you on the wayward ways of those people that claim to have some sort of understanding of what a funnel is, and deprogram you essentially, and tell you what is a funnel. A funnel is not a subscription form. The subscription form and that landing page experience, so those first couple of pages and virtually everything that follows, including if you have a calendar there, it's not a funnel. That is a subscription form. It's the top of funnel. You've seen that picture of a iceberg where the tip is above water. The subscription and that early process is what is above water. Everything comes next. Everything is a funnel, and the funnel is an amazing dynamic place where users are taken on a compelling and relevant and engaging journey that is highly and intrinsically linked with your website experience. And it's why our website is designed the way it is. It is actually highly conditional. You send someone to your website from an autoresponder, for example, or from an email campaign, and it will return content that is applicable to them. If we resolve that they're a doctor or a nurse or an engineer or whatever, we can show them content that is engineered. Silly word to use, having just used the word engineered, but it's delivered specifically to them, because relevance is a key funnel commodity, and if you lose that, you lose the client. So from a digital perspective, our focus is obviously getting people onto the phone and into the, our real world funnel as quickly as possible, and digital can make that happen. This is why, by the way, our conversions on the back end are probably 50 times more than competing solutions. Certainly we return more on the front end, but on the back end is where it explodes. And I still don't understand why these guys aren't focusing on that part of their journey, why they don't make the effort that they need to make, because these guys that I get angry with should be doing this course, and I promise you'll come out the other end and you know more than them. In fact, one of the conditions of doing the course is you don't start a lead gen company once you finish, right? Because we want you to understand that certainly you know more, but you don't know enough. We do have a program called Edge, where we develop you into someone that's able to provide a lead gen service, and we've done that a number of times for people that position themselves within aggregation groups and only work within that aggregation group, and certainly a couple of management people as well. However, moving on, I'm going to talk about just one part of the funnel, one part of the subscription. So one part, and that is the conditional video and conditional emails. Now, the landing page I'm not going to talk about. The subscription form I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to talk about page 2 before I talk about page 1. Page 2 has to be understood before page 1 can even be considered. So page 2, we cater for 3 possibilities or 3 eventualities. That is an email subscriber, someone that provides a phone number, or in the calendar experience selects the earliest convenience option, or a formalized calendar booking, which happens less than the earliest convenience at the moment, by the way, because calendars are BS unless you would like to force them into the calendar environment. And if you're getting 100 leads a day, in fact very few people get 100 leads a day, most people get about 20 to 30. So if you're getting 20 leads a day, you kind of need to book people in end to end, so you can manage your time, unless you've got multiples on staff. So I want those 3 videos. What's in those 3 videos? They're going to cater for the specific subscription that the individual made. On the if an individual just provides an email, and that's only on a value-based funnel, so when you're not forcing a subscription of some type. So on a value-based funnel, if you were giving away a lead magnet or a webinar or something similar, right? Where do we send them? Okay, we send them to page 2. It has a video that talks about the fact they've just subscribed to, you know, a list, and we're going to give them some information and whatever else. But you talk about the specifics, the objective, and your primary promise, carrying on from the ad, and you will encourage a calendar subscription. Remember, we use integrated calendars. We build our own calendar format, which is better than Calendly. It's easy to use in Calendly. It's not Calendly. It's not in an iframe. It's embedded on your website, integrated directly with Microsoft Outlook. It's bulletproof. It's turnkey. And it's presented to them there on the page, and it's super simple to subscribe via that form. So the purpose of your video is to provide a really compelling message and get them to make a booking if they haven't already. Now, we probably initially won't lean on the value-based funnel because nobody has the value assets to give away. In fact, we even in a value, even in a booking-based funnel, there are about 25 primary funnels. In the finance industry, we're going to look at just 2, and that's value and calendar, because they're the 2 most popular. About 50%, 60% of all your funnels will be based on the booking funnel or the value-based funnel. So a calendar on the first page, well, okay, everybody else, what they do is they send someone to a landing page. It's got a bullshit number of questions that don't mean anything, don't provide any results, all that sort of stuff. We're going to avoid talking about the first page right now, but it sends them normally to a second page, which is Calendly offsite. So you're actively paying for someone to visit your website, and then you're sending them somewhere else. In fact, you're not even sending them to your website. Most of the time, people are sending them to a Go High Level page or, some other bullshit third-party service. And the notion that you'd send your paid traffic to somebody else's website and then send them to another website that doesn't belong to you is utterly fucking absurd, right? It's crazy. It is the nuts of nuts when it comes to anything marketing related. You keep them confined within your experience. Otherwise, it's not a funnel. It's a convoluted, fragmented piece of shit, right? It's not a subscription funnel, right? It's not that type of subscription. You're inviting them into nothing, right? They've got a nullified point at the end of their funnel because they can go nowhere. It's absolutely ridiculous that people are doing this, and it's become the norm in the industry. It's become the norm in a lot of industries because it's very easy to do. So a lot of people to do this because you can train a monkey to do it in 5 minutes. Years ago, I used to have a program where at the time my daughter, who was 5, she's now 12, so I started this program when she was 5. I said, we give anybody 2 hours, I think, to manufacture a campaign. I'll give my 5-year-old daughter 15 minutes, and our experience will be more compelling. It'll be integrated. It'll be everything else. And the only guy that ever agreed in public was a guy called John Maxwell. I don't know if he's still around. He was the guy behind the nonsense at Joust, that non-compliant piece of crap, Joust, which is the most deceptive non-compliant piece of garbage lead gen site that has ever been manufactured. And then in private, he pulled out. He said there's no way he's going to do it. Is in the message he sent me, there is no way I'm going to do it. I should have that framed. Because he knew that a 5-year-old could do better than he could. Because everybody just has this copycat experience, and it is non-productive. It is highly ineffectual, and it steers people away from what you're trying to achieve, which is a conversion. So you drive people back into multiple pages. But in the calendar funnel, we're going to have a calendar on the first page, right? It's open. It's not Calendly, so it's not producing that rubbish iframe format. People have to scroll up and down. I'll post a couple of examples later. It is a nice formatted funnel, but we're going to have a video there explaining to people exactly why they need to talk to us, and that's where you build on that promise, right? And everything else. And sorry, this is on the first page with the calendar, and then when we send to the second page, right, this is the video I want you to manufacture, because the video on the first page is a little bit different. The video on the second page, right, somebody has subscribed to your experience, either phone or calendar. We need to respond to that in a way that prepares the individual for what comes next. What comes next is a term that underpins the entire marketing funnel. It is the key to an escalation-based journey. Remember, escalation of commitment is the basis for everything that happens within a marketing funnel. Escalation of commitment, we get them from there to there. That's a term we coined on the back of an aviation term. But it applies in the marketing sense the same way it does in aviation. It's also got economic implications and so on, but it's never used in marketing. But it is entirely appropriate because you're driving someone deeper into the funnel experience and having them commit deeper and deeper to you and your program. So that video should be extremely inviting. First thing you should start off, thank you for making a booking, or thank you for providing your phone number. The phone number will be in contact as soon as possible. Hopefully it's in the next few minutes. If it takes a while, if it's after hours, it might be a little bit longer, and we apologize for that, right? If it's a calendar, thank you for making a booking, right? We appreciate it. In this video, what I'm going to do is talk about what will happen in our discovery phone call. And you can say, look, the questions I ask can be a little confronting at times. I'm going to ask you about your income, the value of your home, if you don't have that information already, the nature of your credit, and so on. And after a number of short questions, we'll have a quick discussion, make sure you're familiar with the process and everything else, and we'll be able to determine what products you might be suitable for, and certainly if you're eligible for a home loan in the first place, and making a point of saying, my objective, everyone I talk to, my objective is to get them into a home, or get them into the next home, or get them their first investment property, or get them whatever the hell they want to get. But you really have to impress upon them that you're their savior. I'm here to help you, right? I'm here to work through any issue you might have, and to ensure that you're positioned exactly as you need to be in order to buy a property. You know, if I can't make it happen, nobody can. Steer clear of marketing vernacular and everything else. That takes place in the funnel, so the subsequent follow-up. However, when obviously you have that discussion with them, certainly if you've had a step form on the first page, you'll have a general indication of LVR and things like that. But, you know, we don't talk about that sort of nonsense in that first video, because it confuses people and alienates them. All they need at that point is that measure of comfort, and that level of guarantee that you're somebody that is prepared to walk them through the process. So that's that. So if I will send out more emails with specific scripts in relation to these conditional videos that are shown. So there are 3 potential pages that we send an individual to on the basis of the first page subscription. Email, phone, calendar. Does it make a difference? Absolutely. Makes a massive difference. The difference is phenomenal when you start a conditioned funnel, an aggressive funnel. That's followed up, by the way, by 3 conditional emails. Email subscribers, phone subscribers, calendar subscribers, right? Or calendar bookings, phone bookings, and email subscribers. So from the very first moment we have contact with that individual, we're speaking in a way that is entirely relevant. And based on the funnel, you're speaking in a language that they understand. Right? You'll have 3 emails for each of the campaigns that you have. Now, we have default templates for that. Within Nexus, you can just select the applicable email you want. So it's a first home for nurses, investment property for doctors, whatever else. And those first emails are all in there. So, and you can action that via the Solus module anyhow. You just now select an email type, and it'll populate the autoresponder program and the first 3 emails and the form. So all those emails will be supplied to you, but I do like that to take on your own tone. So guys, this makes a massive difference to your marketing funnel. So start to unpack what I've just said. If you've had an experience in the past with certainly with Facebook, or just with organic marketing, remember the forms you have on landing pages are on every page of your website, right? Every page of your website is a potential organic entry point. So every page is, in a sense, a landing page. So every page needs to provide that same conversion. And certainly I'll make another video when I talk about the first page, because those same elements are elements on your landing page. And with the step forms, you can show results, so it can link to the comparison engine and so on. So you can really create this dynamic, amazing, colorful experience and draw people into something that will actively engage them rather than alienate them, which is the experience that most people are subscribed to. So if you've engaged with Facebook programs in the past, like I said, unpack what I've said, and you'll start to appreciate just at this point, what we've talked about is the first video that is on the second page and the first email. Start to understand that our programs are very different. They're more effective. They're super simple to use. The landing pages you don't have to create. They're all created automatically. You can reorder things if you want. You can change colors and reassign different videos and all that sort of stuff. But the landing pages don't need creation. That's just monkey shit work. That is, anybody that ever teaches you to create a landing page is nuts. Now we've got two landing page formats. One of them is Yabba landing pages, which are the ones that are automatically populated, but you do have the capacity to create your own if you want to, and you can build out a landing page, use the templates within Elementor, do all sorts of incredible, amazing things, and anybody can do it of any skill level. And I promise you that anybody of any skill level can create a brand new landing page without any understanding in about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And that's without any understanding, just via our drag and drop tools in Elementor, which are obviously our proprietary tech. So that's that, guys. I'm going to send out more emails. Expect a ton, because I need people to come prepared for this program. Have your videos ready, upload them to YouTube, send them to me, give me examples. You can send a video to YouTube, set it on private, and send me the private link, and or unlisted, send me the unlisted link, and then set it to private, so it's there forever, and you've just got it on record as an attempt of a video. Don't ever remove it, guys. My number is 0400 777 300. My name Martin Kuri, guys. 0400 777 300. Bye, guys.